security expert and former director of the Department of State Services, Mike Ejiofor, joins us now to have a discussion on this. Thank you very much indeed for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you for having me.
It's becoming worrisome what happens to security personnel in Nigeria, and that trickles down to the feeling of safety and security that the average citizen enjoys. Speak to us about the way out. Or should we just fold our arms in a kimbo?
Well, we shouldn't fold our hands, and I must, my sincere condolences to the Defense Headquarters and Armed Forces. It's quite disheartening and very unfortunate that we should be losing our security forces like that. And it's quite unfortunate. The terrorists, just like you said, want to still make points that are still very potent, and we shouldn't allow that. We need the cooperation of all citizens. All hands must be on board to see that this menace is checked, because without security, there won't be any meaningful development. And like you said, the challenges are all over the country, and the reasons are obvious. The terrorists, first of all, want to use propaganda, to achieve their aim. Just like the Defense Headquarters spokesperson highlighted that at the fourth estate of the realm, the journalists should not be giving them life. When you give them the propaganda which they thrive on, they try to make the society, people feel unsafe, and it's quite unfortunate. All hands must be on deck.
Okay, talking about all hands being on deck, I'll come back to that. But then, what is even more worrisome is the fact that when you look at the security architecture of Nigeria, you know that the security personnel are trained personnel, and they should be in a better position to handle whatever attack they face. So how come untrained bandits and attackers can penetrate the security architecture?
You see, the truth is that the armed forces, our armed forces, they are very trained. They have standard operational procedures.
Right.
The terrorists have no standard operational procedures. They hit and run, they do anything they want to do. And you see, the question is, why the rise this time? Because there is type of ascendancy now in terrorist activities, not just in the north west and north central, but virtually all over the country. If you go to the southeast, the activities of the unknown gunmen, but fortunately, the IPOB is coming to dissociate itself from the activities of all these unknown gunmen and trying to persuade the people. So they need assurances of the people. They are coming to the north central and northwest. Before the election, you can reserve there's a decrease in crime wave because they were engaged, unfortunately, by politicians, and now it's time for governance. Changes have been made. We have new service chiefs who have come on board to bring their experience to bear. And these terrorists, on their own part, will also want to prove that they are potent, they are still potent, to prove that they are still there to cause a lot of havoc. There's a gap now, pending when the government consolidates. So our service chiefs should be on top of their game. They come up with strategies to neutralize these bandits, especially in the north with Niger State.
Mike, let's begin to connect the dots. There was a reduction in the spate of insecurity and attacks before the elections because they were engaged by politicians, and now after the inauguration, they still want to prove that they are potent. Could there be some sort of support? Do you see any form of support or alignment, continued alignment between these bandits or attackers and the politicians that engaged them before the elections?
Not necessarily. The point is that they were engaged, economically they were empowered. Now they have been left on their own. So they also want to survive because of the harsh economic conditions in the country. So they want to create panic, extort money from people through kidnapping and all, and try to create confusion in the country. And this is exactly what they're doing now. And I believe with concerted efforts, the synergy between the security forces, we shall overcome all these challenges.
With synergy between the security forces, earlier you spoke about all hands being on deck, and I said to you that we'll come back to that. And let's begin to look at that synergy you just mentioned, and then the cooperation of the people, the locals. How can intelligence gathering be better harnessed to checkmate this menace?
Yeah, the fact remains that provision of intelligence has never been our problem. But effective management of the intelligence, that is the problem. And you don't blame the security forces because of the incapacity of the various security forces. But we'll continue to say, people are saying that so much money has been invested in security, but they can never be enough in terms of security, because security, if you look at all the subsectors, look at the politics, look at the economy, everything is in disarray. But security is prime, is paramount. That's why everybody is concerned, because without security we won't do anything. So that's why security is very, very important. So the intelligence management, it's very key. You see, when I talk of intelligence management, you see the information, the intelligence provided to the Nigerian Railway Corporation, you see the way it was leaked. And it's in the public domain. That will create panic and create fear in members of the public. So all the handlers of such intelligence must be trained and advised to look at the way they handle all this. It's quite dangerous, because mishandling of intelligence will even create more security challenges.
Mike Ejiofor, security expert, thank you very much indeed for joining us on this night. No doubt your insight on the show tonight has been